Oh yes, Mzansi, welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Health Tuesday, and we're not just providing health for humans, but for our furry pets too. So pet lovers, listen up. We're going to be diving into the delightful world of dog grooming. And whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-timer for fur parenting, then don't worry, we've got some tail-wagging tips for you. Because joining us in the studio, we've got Kirsten from Mango Pup and a talented dog groomer extraordinaire to bark about all things grooming and keeping our furry friends flea and tick free. And Kirsten's brought along Maisie. Hey Maisie, we're on live TV. You gotta step it up here, my friend. How are you? Oh, little cutie. Kirsten, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I am always finding the softest spot in my heart for animals. So
Yeah.
you've occupied all of it right now. I want to talk about dog grooming. I want to dive straight into this. Obviously, there are so many different ways and myths about how we need to look after our dogs, how we need to groom them, and how we need to keep them well behaved. We're all trying to deal with it at the moment. Maisie's just
Where's Maisie's mom?
Maisie's doing her own thing right now, clearly. But as I was saying, we're talking about grooming techniques. What are some of the techniques that we can use to help maybe maintain our dog's hair? And when Maisie does decide to come back on the screen, we can show off that beautiful coat. But let's talk about the coat in the meantime. How do we maintain it? What sort of ideas do you have for that?
So essentially, when you're looking at maintaining a coat, you're looking at two main things, which would be bathing and brushing.
Okay.
So, and that really depends on what kind of dog you've got, is going to depend on what you do. So, I mean, you've got everything from Ridgeback, which has got hairs,
short
this short, and you know, it hardly needs much grooming at all the way through to somebody like Maisie, who's got really thick coats, all the way through to the poodles, who need a hell of a lot of styling. So there's all these different levels.
Or husky owner like myself that just every single day we're brushing and it doesn't stop.
No, it's crazy. So there's different levels to that, but essentially looking at thorough bathing and then good brushing.
Okay.
Depending, to either keep the undercoat out, like on someone like Maisie, or on someone like a poodle or a schnauzie, to keep them mat-free. Because you don't want those mats to keep getting all knotted.
And I like the fact that you are not just applying a blanket approach to this, because like we were saying now, every dog's fur is different.
Completely.
Some is thin, some is insulating, some are doing crazy things. So that's a great tip. Yeah. When it comes to navigating these different types of fur, obviously some dogs, it's a little bit harder to check for certain things like, let's say, ticks and fleas.
Totally.
What tips do you have for, let's say, both short-haired dogs and also the long, tricky, interesting long-haired dogs like Maisie over there? That's, again, hiding in the studio, and we're hoping to get Maisie back sometime. So how do we do that? Any tips on checking for that?
I think the first thing I would suggest is to use your eyes. I mean, you're going to see, your eyes are going to give you the best clues.
Yeah.
Check around the base of the tail and up along the spine. You will find, if there's quite a lot of fleas, you'll see, they call it flea dirt, but it's actually flea poop. Essentially, and it's like, it looks like tiny little spots of almost like black pepper or something. It looks like tiny little black dots of stuff. If you see that, you've definitely got a flea issue.
Okay.
So that's definitely something to check for with your eyes. If you don't have that many fleas, you can use a tool like this, which is a flea comb. On someone like Maisie, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
To get through all that hair. Yeah. But essentially what it does is it's going to allow you to comb through the hair and pick out individual fleas.
Almost like a sieve in a way. So this is a way in which you could actually manage that problem and try to deal with something like ticks and fleas. You could also use a comb like this.
You could, totally.
Okay. Well, other options, if it's not a comb or not a physical option, is bathing still something that can work?
It totally is. I mean, I don't really believe in the massive tick dips that they used to use in the 80s and stuff. I think just find that really harsh, but there are tick and flea shampoos out there that you can use.
Okay.
Yeah, and then otherwise, obviously, the products that are available too.
All right. Well, it looks like Maisie's ready for a second round here.
Are you going to come try?
Hey, Maisie, you want to come on the camera here? Maisie. Come on, Maisie. Oh, look at you, cutie. Oh, the food works. So you were talking about how difficult it might be to maybe deal with combing through a hair like Maisie's, right? Obviously, because there's a lot of hair here. How would you maybe then use a quicker example of checking for those fleas and ticks what we were mentioning now? So someone like Maisie, I see a lot of long hairs behind the ears and stuff like that. So is that something that you'd also want to like sift through as well? Is that a bit of a challenge?
Yeah, you can. I mean, she's going straight to the biltong. Here we go, my bugs. There you go. You can. I mean, you could also use a comb like this, but it's not going to be as fine as that. But that's why I would say... Yeah.
There we go. I've got Maisie now. You're all mine. You're not going anywhere.
There we go. But yeah, I mean, I would try and part the hair as much as I could and and really look at the skin. And the skin is going to be where you see stuff. You're not going to see it in the actual hair. It's going to be, and particularly around this area here, you're going to see a lot of stuff. There, and that'll give you clues.
Well, thank you so much for coming through with these tips. Maisie just is full of energy. I'm going to let Maisie go because Maisie, want to go? Okay.
Don't
there you go.
Out.
Maisie's just full of energy, so active. And this is something that I love about the fact that when it comes to grooming, how do you get a dog like that to keep still? And I found that if you kind of use like treats or something, you lure them to the bath, it really does work. And I love these options. Thank you so much. This is what education is about, I think. And this is what we are loving right now. Thank you for bringing Maisie through, showing us that not every dog is perfect, but we love them nonetheless. And I think this is part of the challenge that we have with these lovely animals. So Kirsten, thanks for that. And I think to you, Mzansi, caring for companions who care for you, this is what it's about, because NEXGARD has got your furry friends covered with the most complete parasite protection range, and that's in the tasty monthly chew that dogs just absolutely love. Now, the NEXGARD range offers the right dose and the right protection from fleas, ticks, mites, and worms. And don't forget, NEXGARD and NEXGARD Spectra are available in convenient 1-month or 3-month protection packs. So what are you waiting for? I think you've got every option to look after your furry friend right now, and it gets even better because you at home stand the chance to win 2,000 Rand cash and a surprise goodie. Now, simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso social pages and tell us why your dog is your guardian of love. Now, don't forget to use the hashtag NEXGARD and the hashtag Guardians of Love in your answer. And the competition closes at midday Friday, the 5th of July. Now, here's a reminder, the T's and C's can be found at expressoshow.com if you want to get entering. But all I can say to you is good luck, and don't forget to look after your furry friends. No matter what size or what type of hair they have, you've got an option. Thanks, Kirsten.
Cool.
Oh, and I was